and we are about to go into the one card community draw. I'm just giving folks a minute to see if anyone else besides my lovely companion right now is showing up, and it looks like not today, and that's okay because stuff happens, especially when we start getting towards spring. And it is a gorgeous, about to be 70-degree day where I am in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I am kind of excited about that, even though I can't really do much aside from lean over and just kind of peer at things because I can't even lift things to work in my garden this year. And oh, yes, I am pouting. I am pouting hard. So, hi. I do have the card because I do pregame these sessions. So, the card for the week is Sister Wind Inverted. And the word that I heard when I pulled this was silenced. So, since this would typically be a page of swords in a traditional tarot deck, and swords is about intellect, it is about mental expression. I'm seeing this almost as predictive as a public figure, but given certain legal things happening in the US, there are a lot of moves to silence specifically women of all walks or anybody who has changed their name or done anything like that. And so I am looking at this and thinking, okay, it may be the advice to be silent. And this is in Hermetic magic practice and in Dorian Valiante's ABC of Witchcrafts. There is something called the Laws of the Magus. This has been rebranded by Silver Ravenwolf as something called the Witch's Pyramid, but it's the same principles every time, no matter how it's relabeled. And it is to know, to dare, to will, and to be silent. So to know would be considered the properties of air, to will the properties of fire, to dare the properties of water, because plunging into the depths, facing our feelings is the hardest thing. And to be silent is usually the properties of earth, but this is a properties of air being silenced, which suggests cutting airflow. Now, again, this can be strategic, and I'm hearing a voice saying this can be strategic, is what should you stop giving oxygen to? Who should you stop giving oxygen to? Now, this is a really complicated thing because of the way hierarchy is played out in at least US culture. I know hierarchy is played out in UK culture and other places in a similar way. One of the biggest ways that hierarchy is played out in the US is through the marriage mart. And this is one where it is considered the worst of the worst to be a single woman, but a single man is to be pitied and preferably adopted like a loose pet. And women, there's been studies over decades where women that stay single are the happiest for a reason, because marriage was never actually meant to be a romantic proposition. It was always meant to be an employment or if you weren't a landowner, it was always meant to be an employment proposition. And if you were a landowner, it usually meant that the woman came as part of the property or was coming with some property. Marriage is really not that great socially. And it didn't even become a romantic concept until sometime around the 1850s. And even then, there was like magazines educating women on how to be the angel of the household, which has led to chronic illnesses, breakdowns, abusive relationships. It's not been good on fashion magazines, which, as much as I enjoy them, I do understand that they are not healthy things. So I'm kind of seeing this one as women are getting tired of being silenced and being tired of having actual reality rewritten to suit complete bullshit, like on their personal lives, in their daily lives, what's going on nationally. It's women especially are just getting tired of being forced to nod and politely go along with the lies and pretend the lies are true. But the other part is women looking at other women going, which of you are we going to stop feeding? Which of you are we going to cut from the community and the community support? Like right now, I'm seeing this as, it's odd because spring is usually a time of planting seeds and nurturing new things, but it is also a time of clearing paths, clearing out your garden beds, trimming some things back so they don't take over your driveway, which I'm going to have to find a way to do this week. So we're looking at okay, who is bringing in a hierarchy ideology that hurts everyone? And how are we going to stop that? What social expectations and norms are we going to turn around our heads? Now, there's a lot of women embracing being crazy cat ladies. I'm allergic to cats and don't particularly like them, so that's not me. And I happen to like being partnered, but it's taken me a while to be with the right partner, and giving myself a lot of grace on that instead of buying into the one true love and it's always the woman's fault somehow for picking wrong when, hey, people lie to get what they want all the time and then act like it's the person they lied to's fault all the time. So there's that aspect, but there's also the aspect of not caring what like somebody thinks about your age or how you dress or how much makeup you do or don't wear. Looking at it and going, so there was an exercise a friend shared with me years ago that she was doing for her therapy that I kind of took up, where when I was walking through stores or interacting with the public or even reading online, I would stop and ask myself, am I being judgmental? Do I need to be? Is being judgmental adding stress to my life? And every time I caught myself being judgmental, it was adding stress to my life, even for people I didn't freaking know. When I started discerning, hey, does this impact my life? No, it doesn't. Setting it down. Go wear your Daisy Dukes at a wedding. I don't care. Doesn't impact my life. It's not my wedding. Um, go do the things that are healthy for you to do, even if other people don't understand them. So I think in a lot of ways, this card this week is about finding a way to breathe, finding a way to deal, finding a way to function. So I'm going to give us another minute or so. And so again, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, taking the time into the world. I know last week I started 10 minutes late because I wasn't feeling so well. So I'm wondering if folks are going to start showing up just as I'm about to leave, which would serve me right. But things happen, and we are finally out of Mercury retrograde shadow. So we are fully responsible for everything we say. I mean, we always are, but more so now. So that's what I've got. It does seem like this is a lot of being silent. There's a difference between being silent and being silenced. And I always advise to fight being silenced as hard as you possibly can. So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I'm going to see where my energies levels are. I'm about to jump over to my Patreon and do the 3-card draw. So have a wonderful morning, and I will see you next week, if not before. Stay magical, everyone.